Hi, this is an explanation for week 11. Science fiction and fantasy are the topics this week. You'll be observing a lesson to identify social, emotional, cultural anchor competencies and teacher moves. Is there cultural diversity in science fiction and fantasy? Are science fiction readers sometimes looked upon as odd? These are topics we're going to be talking about this week, week 11. You will have another author study this week. It will be a video and 2 activities that you respond to. It will be in this folder. We're going to take a look at this folder here, which are the activities for week 11. You're viewing the video now, so you've already accomplished the first activity. The second activity is to view the video of the teacher teaching a lesson here. And after you view the video, it's about 3 minutes long, you're going to respond to these questions using this SEC Anchor Competencies Framework, which is, of course, the social, emotional, cultural anchor competencies that we have been working on this semester. So which social, emotional, and cultural anchor competencies and accompanying teacher moves do you see taught and or modeled in this lesson? What evidence do you see for each anchor move you selected? You can refer to the framework to guide your analysis. So just don't forget to state the anchor competency and then, or the teacher move, or both, and then provide the evidence that you see in that video. How do you think the teacher's attention to those anchor competencies may have contributed to her students' academic success and ability to thrive? What has she done for their social emotional learning which is a benefit or would benefit their academic success? And what do you think this teacher would have needed to do during the first 6 weeks of school to get to this point? Think about routines and practices. And what has she worked on? And maybe establishing community. I'm just trying to think of some things to motivate you in regards to what you might be thinking. And last but not least is a reflection. What's one takeaway for your own practice? After reading Chapter 6 in the PowerPoint, you're going to evaluate a fantasy or science fiction book from your self-selected library using the evaluation questions below. Post your response in this drop box. So Chapter 6 is the textbook. This is the science fiction / fantasy PowerPoint. And these are the questions evaluating science fiction or fantasy. You will then have a discussion of the issues arising from reading fantasy and science fiction. So using the 2 articles below, you're going to respond to the following questions. In Deidre F. Baker's article, Musings on a Diverse World, she discusses that there is an absence of racial and cultural diversity in the protagonists of fantasies and in the cultural imagery employed by fantasy authors. Discuss how you would address the lack of diversity in this genre in your classroom. What would you do and why? And reading the other article, The Campaign for Shiny Futures. Currently, we live in a world where fiction that provides insight into the human condition, usually defined as emotion, is lauded as having the ultimate literary value. This is not a given, but part of the current cultural moment. Other values, learning about the mechanics of the world, for example, which were once celebrated both in education and the hierarchies of reading lists, are received uncertainly. We may want children to learn science and languages, but our societies regard children and adults who enjoy doing that as a bit odd. Do you enjoy science fiction? If so or not, do you agree with this author's viewpoint? Use evidence from the text in your response. Here are the 2 articles that you can download to read. And last but not least, you're going to view this video of the book called The Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lesmore. This is a short film that won an Academy Award based on the fantasy novel. You're going to locate a website about this book and share what you would use from the website in creating a lesson for the use of this book. You do not need to create a lesson. Just list your ideas from the website information, link the website you used, and post your list of ideas in this Dropbox. And those are the activities this week. Don't forget the author study that's in the other folder that preceded this folder. Don't forget to do the 2 activities and view the video in that as well. And those are the activities this week. As always, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Remember, during week 12, we will have class, but not this week. So I'll just see you online. Have a great week.